And now, we return to the case of the Winthrop legend. Had quite a time getting back here. The roads are turning bad.
Harvey Winthrop.
Good evening, sir. Could you get everybody together and see if we can try and get this thing sorted out? Where's the body?
Over there.
Broken neck. Died instantly.
What do you say? You up there?
Oh, good evening, Constable.
That is Mr. Holmes. I've spoken to you about him.
Oh, yes. Good evening to you, Mr. Holmes. Glad to have you on this case.
His wife.
Been a terrible shock for her.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, I'd like to discuss this case with you. I've got several theories. Dr. Watson was telling me coming down in the carriage.
I think it would be better if she retired for a while. These will help.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Watson summarized the legend for me on the way down, but quite frankly, Mr. Holmes, I would say we're opposed to a devilish mind here.
Holmes, really? I don't know. What on earth do you think you're doing?
A button. At the very least. Observe, Watson, I've almost torn a button loose.
Oh, so I should think after all those acrobatics. Are you going to sit like that all evening?
And yet the late Mr. John Winthrop fell down a long flight of exceptionally sharp stone stairs without damaging his clothing.
What's that? I'd better check.
Yes, I think you had.
He may not have torn a button, but he suffered some very severe damage to his neck, I'd like to remind you.
An indisputable fact, my dear Watson.
Well, what are you getting?
Somewhere. Come on, Watson, let's examine the situation more thoroughly. The killing blow was struck at the back of the neck, is that right?
It was. He must have struck the edge of the stairs as he fell.
Stone. Edge is quite sharp. The wound be deeper, more pronounced, Watson. Would you re-examine the injuries like a good fellow?
Mm-hmm. Well, the skin's broken, but not unusually so. Still, it's difficult to know the position of the body when he fell.
I agree with Mr. Holmes.
Winthrop and the blind woman were at the top of the stairs when he fell.
Mm-hmm. And in a position to have pushed him down.
Right.
You then imply that Miss Hall, being downstairs all the time, may be ruled out as a suspect.
Well, I should take that as a prima facie proof of her innocence.
Do you really think so, Watson?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Who are you accusing, Mr. Holmes?
Your fiancée.
Holmes?
You're insane. Not at all, I assure you. Your brother didn't fall down these stairs. He was killed, struck by a blow from behind, very probably in this room. His body was then placed at the foot of the stairs, and the legend having been carefully reawakened, and the manner in which your father met his death, and the gold doubloon, all led you to the obvious conclusion.
She couldn't have done it.
I assure you she could.
But Holmes, she had no motive. The estate now passes to Harvey Winthrop.
Well, yes, I'm the only one who had a motive.
I would say you and the lady you are going to marry.
Are you going to report her to the police?
Less than useless, I'm afraid. No court in this world would ever convict her on the evidence we have.
Well, assuming you're right, and mind you, to me it's only an assumption, there's nothing we can do.
Yes, there is. We can at least remove the assumption. Come with me, gentlemen, into the drawing room.
Constable, I didn't know you were there.
Just looking around, routine, you know, miss.
Of course. Did you want to see me?
Well, not especially, miss. A few more things to check up on.
The rest lies completely in your hands.
Alice is resting now. Not sleeping, but... Oh, this whole thing is horrible.
If you'll forgive us, Dr. Watson has a medical certificate to fill out.
Yes, I should attend to that.
Oh, Miss Holmes.
At your service, my good constable.
That Holmes. What a peculiar man.
What? Oh, Holmes, yes, he is, isn't he? Peg,
Yes?
Well, this is difficult to say.
What is, darling?
In light of what's happened, I think it's best we break off our engagement.
Break off? But why?
Well, there's certain to be a mess in the papers about all this.
Oh, you needn't worry about me, darling.
Actually, it's Alice I'm thinking of.
Alice?
Yes, she'll be so terribly alone now. In a way, I feel responsible for her.
You love her. You've always loved her. And now that your brother's dead, you...
You mustn't think that. There's something else.
What else? Why this sudden protective fatherly interest?
10 years ago, Alice and I went riding across the moors. I started a race. Her horse broke away from her, and she could stop him. He took a high fence and fell.
And Alice became blind. But you can't live with that for the rest of your life. It was an accident. It was unfortunate, but it shouldn't influence our relationship now.
I'm afraid it does. To me.
John dies, and you take Alice. That's funny. That's really ironic.
Ironic? What makes you see ironic, such a situation?
I don't know. I just meant nothing. Just an expression.
Very interesting choice of words, I might add. Alas, I must confess we were eavesdropping. Is there anything you'd like to confess, Miss Hall?
What does this mean?
You spoke of irony. Such a choice word. You didn't kill John Winthrop so that Harvey could share the family fortune with Alice. You'd have seen to that in time.
You're insane. I couldn't have pushed John down the stairs. I was at the bottom myself.
Well, you were in a perfect position to strike him with this. And then, very thoughtfully, placed the end in the fire to remove any evidence of the blow.
No court in the world would convict me on evidence like that.
You're quite right, Miss Hall. But you know the facts. And we know the facts.
But surely, Holmes, something can be done.
I don't think so, Watson. The young lady used her wits, but an ancient legend. And a murderess walks free.
But it's a gold doubloon.
And she said no court in the world would ever convict her.